Skol Vikings Nation. Brace yourselves, Purple Faithful, because the next few minutes are about to shake everything you thought you knew about this franchise to its absolute core. 3 earth-shattering developments have just erupted from Winter Park, and I'm telling you right now, this isn't your typical off-season chatter. We're talking about moves that could completely redefine the trajectory of this team for years to come. Smash that like button and drop a comment, because what I'm about to reveal involves contract negotiations that have fans divided, a quarterback saga that just took the most unexpected turn imaginable, and a trade proposal so wild it'll make your head spin faster than a Justin Jefferson route. Picture this. One of our most versatile defensive weapons is holding out for a payday that could break the bank. A 4-time MVP quarterback who's been linked to Minnesota all offseason just made a decision that changes everything, and there's a blockbuster trade scenario floating around that involves bringing back a familiar face in the most shocking way possible. Vikings Nation, you need to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story has more twists than a Minnesota winter storm, and every single development affects how we approach 2025 and beyond. But here's the kicker. The first bombshell involves a player who lined up at 7 different positions last season, accumulated over 1,000 snaps, and now wants to be compensated like the Swiss Army knife he's proven to be. The front office is sweating bullets trying to figure out how to pay him, and the holdout has officially begun. Are you ready for this roller coaster? Because we're about to dive headfirst into the chaos that is shaping up to be the most dramatic Vikings offseason in recent memory. Vikings Nation, it's official. The holdout is real. The player causing all this commotion? None other than safety Josh Matelis. And folks, this situation is about to get messy. Our defensive Swiss Army knife has earned himself an extension after 2 phenomenal seasons. But coming to terms on a deal might be the most complicated negotiation Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has faced in his tenure as general manager. Let me paint you the picture of just how valuable Matelis has become to this defense. Last season alone, this man lined up at 7 different positions. Defensive line, box safety, slot cornerback, outside corner, free safety, and even special teams coverage. We're talking about 1,198 total snaps of pure versatility that had opposing offensive coordinators pulling their hair out trying to game plan against him. The Vikings originally signed Matelis to a bargain 2-year, $8 million extension before the 2023 season when he was primarily a reserve player. Fast forward to now, and he's become absolutely indispensable to Brian Flores' defensive scheme. The man played 493 snaps in the box, 320 in the slot, and even rushed the passer from the defensive line on 62 occasions. But here's where things get complicated, Vikings Nation. How do you pay a player who doesn't fit into traditional position categories? The safety market tops out at $21.25 million per year, with Kirby Joseph, while slot cornerbacks max out around $13.33 million annually with Kyler Gordon. Matelis doesn't fit neatly into either box. He's something entirely unique. The prediction floating around is a 3-year, $34.5 million deal with $23 million fully guaranteed. But with the holdout now in effect, every day that passes makes this negotiation more tense. Adofo-Mensah has built his reputation on finding value while rewarding players who outperform their contracts, just like he did with Andrew Van Ginkel after his All-Pro season. But Vikings Nation, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because while we're dealing with our own contract drama, a certain 4-time MVP quarterback just made a decision that completely changes the landscape of the upcoming season. Vikings Nation, the Aaron Rodgers circus is officially over. After months of speculation, rumors, and endless debate about whether the Vikings would pursue the controversial quarterback, Aaron Rodgers has finally made his decision. And it's not purple and gold. The 41-year-old future Hall of Famer is heading to Pittsburgh, signing with the Steelers for what will be his 21st NFL season. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero broke the news that sent shockwaves through the league. Rodgers informed the Steelers he'll fly to Pittsburgh and sign before next week's minicamp. After a tumultuous stint with the New York Jets that began with a torn Achilles and ended with disappointment, the four-time MVP is taking his talents to the Steel City. For Vikings Nation, this news brings both relief and anticipation. All off-season long, we've been subjected to endless speculation about whether Minnesota would pursue Rodgers as insurance behind J.J. McCarthy. With Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones both departing, some media personalities kept pushing the narrative that the Vikings needed veteran help at quarterback. But Kevin O'Connell and the front office remained committed to McCarthy as their franchise quarterback, and rightfully so. The 2024 10th overall pick has shown nothing but promise, and the organization's faith in him never wavered despite the external noise. Now here's where it gets interesting for us, Vikings Nation. Rodgers and the Steelers will face Minnesota in Week 4, and it's happening in Dublin, Ireland. Just last year, we defeated the Rodgers-led Jets in London, and now we get another international showdown. The symmetry is almost poetic. This also means we'll potentially see Rodgers for what could be the final time in his career. Remember those battles we had with him during his Green Bay days? Daniel Hunter sacking him at US Bank Stadium? Those were some of the most intense games in recent Vikings history. The Steelers are getting a quarterback who was fantastic in 2021 when he won his fourth MVP, but has looked increasingly average since then. At 41 years old, Rodgers is no longer the elite player who terrorized our secondary for years. Pittsburgh's defense will need to carry him, just like they've done with aging quarterbacks before. But Vikings Nation, hold on to your purple jerseys, because the third and most shocking development involves a trade proposal that would bring back a very familiar face to Minnesota.
Vikings Nation, prepare yourselves for the most stunning trade proposal of the offseason. ESPN insider Dan Graziano has just dropped an absolute bombshell that has fans across the Twin Cities picking their jaws up off the floor. Are you sitting down? Because this proposal involves bringing Kirk Cousins back to Minnesota as J.J. McCarthy's backup and mentor. That's right, Vikings faithful. The same Kirk Cousins who left us for Atlanta just months ago could potentially return to winter in Minnesota. Graziano's proposed trade would send Sam Howell packing to the Falcons, along with a 2026 fifth-round pick, a 2027 seventh-round pick, and cash considerations in exchange for Cousins and his massive contract. The financial gymnastics would be absolutely insane. The Vikings would agree to pay $10 million of Cousins' guaranteed money for 2025, while Atlanta would have to absorb the bulk of his deal. Remember, Cousins has a potential $45 million dead cap hit after this season, making this one of the most complex trades imaginable. But here's the chess move that makes this fascinating, Vikings Nation. If this trade somehow happened, we would have essentially traded 1 year of Cousins and some late-round draft capital to Atlanta for explosive rookie wide receiver Ty Felton, whom we selected with the compensatory pick we received for Cousins in the first place. The irony is absolutely delicious. Cousins would return to Kevin O'Connell's system, where he was most comfortable, serving as the perfect mentor for McCarthy, while providing elite backup quarterback insurance. Given McCarthy's serious knee injury, having someone of Cousins' caliber and familiarity with the system could be invaluable. But let's be real, Vikings Nation, this move would be absolutely shocking considering how the organization has operated this offseason. We chose not to pay big money to keep Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones, so bringing back Cousins at a premium would represent a complete philosophical shift. Smash that like button if this trade proposal blew your mind, and drop a comment telling us whether you'd want Kirk Cousins back in purple and gold. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because this offseason keeps delivering unprecedented drama. The Josh Matelis holdout continues to build tension. Aaron Rodgers is officially a Steeler, and the possibility of Kirk Cousins returning to Minnesota has Vikings Nation completely divided. This franchise is experiencing one of the most chaotic and unpredictable off-seasons in recent memory, and we're not even to training camp yet. Vikings Nation, what do you think? Can Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah navigate the Matelis contract situation without breaking the bank? Are you relieved that Rodgers is officially off the table? And would you welcome Kirk Cousins back with open arms, or is it time to fully commit to the J.J. McCarthy era? The 2025 season is shaping up to be absolutely wild. And every single one of these decisions will impact whether we're finally ready to bring home that elusive Lombardi trophy to Minneapolis. Skol Vikings Nation, the drama never stops.